welcome everyone to I will welcome everyone to this meeting, September 19th. Welcome from wherever you are in the world. And it's so wonderful to see each and every one of you, all of your smiling and warm faces. Our President Genevieve is unable to join us today, so as VP Ed, I am in her place to open this meeting, which I have done, and I'm so happy to see you all again. You wouldn't believe this is my peaceful time right now. Imagine that. So without further ado, I'd like to call upon our Toastmaster of the day, our team mod, as we like to lovingly call that role, Aisha Nesmith, to our podium so that she may lead us into this meeting. Aisha.
Hi, thank you so much. I think I can share now. I was asking permission to share in the background, so thank you so much for your quick response. I'm going to show my screen. Please let me know when you can see it. Yes, and I'm going to go into slideshow mode, so I hope that I don't lose you all. There you are. And so, thank you so much for that introduction, Vice President. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, thank you for this wonderful opportunity today to serve in this capacity. It is my first time, and I am so grateful to be able to be back with you all. I've been away for a little bit, and we're not going to have speeches today, but we are going to still have a very vibrant experience together. And so I wanted to take this moment to let you all know what I'm going to do. I'm giving an overview of this role. Then I'm going to just confirm some roles and then convey the theme and talk a little bit about it, and then some gratitude, which I've already given a little bit already. And so the roles, I am the Toastmaster of the day, and I'm going to turn this over shortly to our general evaluator. And then we're also going to have our table topics that are going to then come. And we have one more role that is very important, and it is our guest today. So please enjoy their time together, and please contribute as you feel free to do so. The theme of today is forgiveness. And the definition of forgiveness is the action or process of forgiving or being forgiven. And I felt it was important to incorporate both sides of it because primarily we're going to talk about you forgiving yourself and not necessarily someone else, unless you can't think of anything to forgive yourself for. And the reason I've chosen this opportunity is because September is National Forgiveness Month. There's going to be Forgiveness Day, which is going to be next Friday, and is an opportunity for us to reflect on forgiveness. And just a little bit about it, it's more in the professional context. How many times have we all sat and just been mad at ourselves because maybe we didn't deliver a speech as well as we wanted to? Or maybe we didn't have ample time to plan as we planned to do for, say, this meeting or a role that you were going to take. Or maybe it was an opportunity that you didn't take that was so prime for the opportunity. The importance of forgiveness is for our professional growth and also as a team, because as each one of us thrives, we all become better. And so it's an opportunity for us to encourage one another and to be here for that. How can forgiveness improve our workplace and relationships and our productivity? If we are able to move past the things that we are worried about or we carry with us as a burden, then we're all able to have better relationships and to be more productive with one another. And just the motto of Toastmasters that we're here to serve and to listen to one another. This is how we can all grow together. So I have a quick exercise I'd like everyone to do. If wherever you are around you, you could pull out a Post-it note, a piece of paper, or anything that you just have there. And I want you to take maybe 10, 15 seconds to think of something that you would need to give yourself forgiveness for. Given some examples, but maybe it's just something that's just came to you immediately to think about, and take the time to just write that really quickly on a piece of paper as I finish this entire sentence. That's about how much time you'll have. And Really be thoughtful and intentional about something. You're not going to share it if that's what you're worried about. This is only an exercise for you. And before you wad up that piece of paper, because that is what you're going to do, I just want you to take an opportunity to hold it and to take a deep breath and think about what's in front of you. And I want you to affirm, you don't have to do it out loud, but that I release this. I embrace the self-compassion or the compassion for someone else, and I move past this moment. And then ball it up and throw it as far away from you as you possibly can. Burn it if you have to, but there's probably fire rolls where you are. And reflect on it no more. So I thank you for allowing me to take you through that exercise. And now I am going to turn the table over to the general evaluator, who is going to take us through the next portion of it. And I will be back afterwards to call for more of the roles and the reports that will be given by those from the general evaluator later on in this presentation. And thank you so much for the opportunity, and I turn it over to you. Trying to stop sharing my screen. So.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. My role as general evaluator is to evaluate all aspects of the meeting. This includes how we feel. Can you hear me?
Yes, it was someone.
This includes how we feel in the meeting, how I feel that the meeting was conducted, and the speeches and the entire aspect of Toastmasters meeting. But it's a big task, so I do have some help. Three main roles in my team. We have an art counter, grammarian, and a timer. I will ask each of those persons assigned to those roles to briefly describe what those roles are at a Toastmasters meeting so that everyone here gets a good appreciation of what to expect. I will call on our art counter and / grammarian today, Edwin. He is playing those two roles. Kudos to him. Edwin, can you help us understand a little better what your role is, please?
Absolutely. Thank you for the introduction, Toastmaster Alan. As the grammarian today, I will be listening intently to all the speeches that everybody gives. Anytime anyone participates, I will be listening keenly to see if you're using grammar correctly, and whether you are using it incorrectly. And I will give a report at the end of my at the end of Toastmasters today. And as the out counter, I will also be checking whether or how many times you say or use any filler words in your vocabulary. So filler words can be words like like, so, some examples. Back to you, Toastmaster Alan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Edwin. And our last role under the evaluation panel, we have the timer. Toastmaster Tara is our assigned timer today. Tara, can you help us understand what the timer does at a Toastmaster meeting?
Yes, at the Toastmasters meeting, typically we will have projects which have certain lengths of time for each assignment, 5 to 7 minutes, 8 to 10, etc. With table topics, this is a little bit of a different kind of event. The nice thing is prepared speeches are just members, table topics, everyone can join in. What you'll see in my background is for a table topic, the goal is 1 to 2 minutes. If you get a question, please speak until you see this green. The green means that you've hit 1 minute. So our challenge is to speak off the top of our head for this length of time. At 1 minute and a half, I'll switch the background to yellow. And right at 2 minutes, I will switch it to red. So that's where you've hit the 2 minute mark. And we'll ask if you can finish up your table topic before the next 30 seconds elapses. So that will help us do a little bit of practice, and hopefully that guides us in our ability contemporaneously. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tara. It may be, I'm not sure if it's on my end or your end, but you started to stutter there. It could be your connection. So I hope you are able to hear us all. We are off on
Yeah, I
to
do
a
have a
late
little
start.
connection problem.
Let's see. Okay. All right. No
Yeah.
problem. So we are off to a late start, and we are no speeches today. So it's just table topics. And I'm looking at our agenda here. We probably can fit in about 20 minutes of table topics in our session today. Tara, can you just let us know when that 20 minutes is up so that we can move on to the evaluation of the meeting?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm back to you, Toastmaster of the day. I will give my reports at our end.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to turn it over to Toana. And sorry, the timer has hand up.
Oh, quick question. Do we want to introduce the word of the day? So we have a little challenge for
Yes,
ourselves.
yes. I am sorry. Sorry about that. Our word of the day is clemency. Clemency. And the definition of clemency is disposition to be merciful and especially to moderate the severity of punishment due. An example of the usage of the word clemency is the judge ignored the prisoner's pleas for clemency. Could I ask someone to paste that in our chat so that our guests can also see this word? I'm unable to do so using my phone. It's not very easy for me. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for that reminder, Toastmaster Tara. Okay, Toastmaster of the day, you may carry on.
Thank you. I'm going to ask for clemency for not making sure that I spoke out of turn and before we had the word of the day. So thank you so much for that insert. And now I'll turn it over to our table topics master of the day. Thank you so much. Take it over.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Haisha. Okay, so I have a wonderful role today, and you're going to find out all about it. Do you remember perhaps being at school and you weren't really paying attention, and the teacher called your name and you had to just respond? What that felt like? Or perhaps more recently, your boss asked you to speak at an event and you're like, oh my goodness, what do I do? Or you saw a person that you really, really always wanted to speak to, and the person is right next to you, and you want to say something to them. Well, this calls for impromptu speaking. And at Toastmasters, we help with that. Now, you will be afforded clemency if you make an error, you go out of time. It's all about having fun and enjoying the rule. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so that you could see what the questions are. And I have equipped myself with quite a few. But to help you through this, I'm going to ask you to first think about your refrigerator. And think about what's the weirdest thing that you've ever had in your refrigerator. So to help you ease into answering the table topic, you can choose to start with the weirdest thing that I've had in my refrigerator is my blah, and then respond to the question. Okay? So the first question, based on the topic or the theme for today, forgiveness. What does forgiveness mean to you, and why is it important? Toastmaster Tara, can you tell us?
Forgiveness is a blessing. Oftentimes, we struggle with forgiveness because we have been wronged, we have been insulted, we have been hurt, we are sad and angry, everything mixed together. And when that occurs and we feel that we were targeted by another person, we have a very hard time. We get trapped in really a prison, in some ways, of our own reactions to what has transpired. Was someone inappropriate? Sure. But when you are unable to forgive the action of the other person, you build the walls around yourself. It's like a self-made solitary confinement in some ways. The ability to forgive is for you to release those chains that you have put on your own mind and your own heart. Why is it important? It's important for you to be able to live free of that prison. I have to say something transpired with my mother one time that made me extremely angry at her, feeling that she had abandoned me at a key time. And I was angry over this incident for 2 full years. It's a long time. But at the end of the day, after that time passed, I just maintained the relationship through a sense of duty to maintain a connection with her, with my child. And after the 2-year mark, I realized the fruitlessness of that feeling, that things in her life had transpired, which created that situation. And I let it go, luckily while she was still alive, not knowing that she would soon pass. And I want to say that forgiveness is important so that you can live an honest life, sleep well at night, and release the chains of what you have put yourself into and carry forward with a light spirit and a light heart. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. And for the guests, if you see us waving like this kind of crazily, it's because this is our way of clapping and cheering the person on. So feel free to jump in and wave along. Okay. Moving on to number 2. Can you share a time when forgiving someone changed your perspective? And I'm going to jump right in and ask our guest, Roberto.
Okay. Can you share a time when forgiving someone changed your perspective? Yes. I'd be happy to share a time. Okay, I'm very nervous, but forgiving my mom changed my perspective on the way she parented, because I felt that at the time that she was a horrible parent, you know. And I thought that she could have done so many things better, because I know that she could have done it. And it took many years for me to realize that she did what she did with the knowledge that she had and could not have done better. So I had to accept that. And in accepting that, it helped me to forgive her for the things that I thought, the injustices that I thought I had that had been meted out to me, you know, at that time, and be able to move on past it. You know, it was a good feeling. It was an exhilarating feeling to do that, and also to forgive her. It changed my perspective in that I realized that you can give more than you have at the time. And she gave all that she had at the time. That's it.
Great job! And you managed to get to the 1-minute challenge that Tara talked about. Awesome job for your first time there, Roberta. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Moving forward. Now, is it harder to forgive others or to forgive yourself? Why? Can you tell us, Toastmaster Edwin?
Yes, thank you for the question, Toastmaster Tanya. Uh, in my opinion, I think it's harder to forgive others. And I think this is because whenever when I think about forgiveness, I think about how others have wronged me personally. So I always think about an external action. There's something being done onto me and to my person. And I think it's a little bit more difficult because if I do my own damage, I know I'm responsible and I know what actions to take in order to rectify the situation. As opposed to if I'm damaged or if someone does a wrongdoing to me, I can't necessarily tell them what to do, how to fix the situation. They have to take it upon themselves to find a solution in order to gain forgiveness. So I think that is more difficult, especially since we don't have control over people. We can only control ourselves. So I believe forgiving myself is an easier act. And I think about this in my day-to-day living. Every day there's things that you feel regret over, whether it's like not going to the gym, waking up late, staying those extra minutes in bed. Uh, they're like little mini tiny things that you can forgive yourself and then work on them later on. But opposed to others, it's just more difficult. That's it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Edwin. Great job. Yes. So moving to number 4. Can forgiveness be seen as a sign of strength? Why? Or why not, Toastmaster Haisha?
Thank you so much for the question. And I believe that forgiveness can be seen as a sign of strength. One of the things I reflected on when coming up with this presentation today was Martin Luther King Jr. It's around here somewhere. He has a quote where he says that forgiveness is not an occasional act, it's a constant attitude. And so when it's a constant attitude and seen as something that you have to maintain at all times for your own personal health, that's a sign of strength because you are bettering yourself. You are working on yourself. You're having the discipline to see that the ability to give forgiveness to people at all times is within you. And of course, it's not something that you're going to have immediately or something that you excel at, but the strength comes from always trying to sharpen that iron so that you can get better and better at it as you go along. And if it's a sign of strength to be better, then what else could be seen as a sign of strength than other working on yourself? Because we are who we have to live with our whole life. We are who we have to rely on when the decisions come. So I think that forgiveness is a sign of a strength because it is a constant attitude that impacts our heart. And that heart, also being a muscle, is something that we're flexing and we're using most often. So thank you so much for the question.
Wow, we don't have any prepared speech today, but we are getting so many beautiful nuggets. Great. All right. So moving to number 5. What is one historical event that perhaps you can think about where you think forgiveness made a significant impact? And I'd love to call on Toastmaster Allen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tuanya. This is indeed one question that has me stumped. But if I had to think for a historical event where I think forgiveness has a significant impact, maybe we can look at lack of forgiveness. And thinking of all of the conflict that's happening in the world today, could that be caused by lack of forgiveness? I mean, it's probably trivializing the deeper significance and the deeper factors that went into all of this buildup. But have we ever thought about what the consequences are of lack of forgiveness and how it can impact society and humanity on the whole? Thank you, Toastmaster Tanya. You're making me think. You're making me think, and I'm going to be thinking about this and post this to my Alma Mater group as well. But
Okay.
they bring up a lot of those bacchanal topics, as we like to say in Trinidad. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alan. And Alan, thank you for demonstrating when you get a topic that you get stumped, that you could still master it and handle it in the awesome way that you just did. Yes. So Toastmaster Tara, you wanted to share something on this topic.
Yes, I want to build from what Alan was talking about, partly because I am based here in Germany. If you look at the history of Central Europe and what happened at the end of World War I, was that there was a decision to bring Germany to its knees, to really, really punish the loser from World War I. And it is that punishment and that absolute lack of forgiveness, which then tracked directly into the rise of Nazism and fascism and a belief by people in this area, Austria and Germany both, that they had to find other avenues to regain what had been lost, to conquer the enmity of the world, to demonstrate superiority where they, really didn't have it, but had find kind of false gods to raise up that society. And anytime that we want to, let's say, humiliate a person, a group of people, or a country, we are putting there some of the seeds for some future explosion. That is why this is a really interesting topic that you have raised. And Alan pointed out, what about the lack of forgiveness? And I think it's easy to say that the outcome of World War I created the conditions for World War II. We really did. And consequently, what happened at the end of World War II was that the US, from a policy perspective, decided maybe there was time for a different type of ending to that war, right? An ending that focused on self-development and financial assistance and the development of what we know as the Marshall Plan as part of that process. But it was interesting that when the US began to occupy Germany, and there are still many military bases here today. I live in Germany where there are all these American military bases. The very first decision was to let the Germans run their own politics, to never interfere, and to provide assistance to the development of civil society and a new political system. If you want to see the difference between forgiveness and no forgiveness, here's one example that we can look at. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much for that, Sarah, for sharing that. She is a US citizen, moved to Germany, and this is a topic that touched you. Thank you so much for sharing that information. Wonderful. Moving on. Okay. How do you balance forgiving someone while still holding them accountable for their actions? And of course, we're going to get our other guest, Daphne, involved. Can you share your thoughts with us, Daphne?
On my camera. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the question, Toastmaster Tonya. How do you balance forgiving someone while still holding them accountable for their actions? I think you can look at not taking it personally. Someone may have done something to you or may have said something to really hurt you. And in order to achieve that balance, you have to look at not taking it too personally. I mean, we as human beings tend to take a lot of things personally, especially when we are deeply hurt, right? But then when you can separate, that's where you start to find the balance. You separate the person's action from the emotional feeling, right? And yet you're going to forgive them because, well, it depends on the relationship as well that you have with that person, that is going to make it easier or harder, right? So you look at maybe the person was going through some sort of emotional trauma. You understand? And they were not really lashing out at you, right? So when you separate your personal feeling from your emotional feeling, I think that's where you find the balance. You know, you can give them, but you are still holding them accountable.
Might I say that Toastmaster Tara explained to you that we have a goal to get to that green light, and both our guests today have done that. Great job. So, as we move forward, as I put the questions forward, anyone can volunteer to share their thoughts, okay? And it can be done with more than one person. How can practicing forgiveness influence the way you handle future conflicts? Would anyone like to share? Aisha, thank you.
Thank you for the question. Well, thank you for allowing me to take the question. How can practicing forgiveness influence the way I handle future conflicts? I believe it has to do with the word of the day, which is clemency. It's giving mercy. It's giving grace to others. And stating previously that it's a muscle that you grow and you continue to build. If you're practicing the forgiveness, it then allows you to be able to see them at different degrees, and you can give clemency where it's due, but also balance what we need to balance as far as holding accountability. And we get better at it each time we try and we practice, just like doctors, they're practicing, and hopefully they get better and better as well. But handling future conflicts becomes more easy. It becomes more of opportunities to use the learning that we've gained from all the previous times that we've done it. And it also makes it better for ourselves, because at the end of this, it has to be a heart issue. It has to be something that impacts us as self-care and a way to continue to live in a positive way in this world that is so full of opportunities to offer forgiveness to others. So if I would say how we can, is by offering clemency, growing our sense of mercy, continuing to increase our ability to do it and learn from every time that we have offered forgiveness. Thank you.
What a beautiful speech. And did she use clemency, the word of the day, so many times? Great job, Aisha. Okay. What advice? Tara, go right ahead. Yes.
Oh, I was going to, 1 second. I was going to go back and also respond to that
Sure,
prior
go right
question.
ahead. This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
Let's
ahead.
see. Sorry, I'm trying to manage. I'm hitting the wrong button. Okay.
The timing of it, yes.
I would like to take this opportunity to rewind some of us here a couple weeks to when we had a workshop that Geralda shared with us, which in the workshop, it started with the notion of giving evaluations and positive, just skill building, and it moved into, from the people in the group, a discussion about how to have good interpersonal communications and the struggle that we have to keep things under control when we get upset and really insulting things or poor things happen in some of those workplace communications in particular. I really appreciated Geralda gave us the advice that when we are in some type of high stress, high pressure situation, and we don't want to express it in the moment because we might just really blow up at the person, one of the tools, she said, is to go away and do some journaling and then come back when you are ready to have a slightly lower level of tension in the conversation with that person. What I liked about the idea she had to journal is that by doing that, you will start to build a vocabulary of things that you can say in the moment to try to immediately address it. And so this notion of having a muscle, right? Practicing forgiveness, but also practicing the very act of reflection, coming up with the words, doing that privately, maybe when we're still learning those steps, will prepare us to go into these difficult situations with some phrases and some ways that we can address things, practically speaking, right in the middle of the situation. But a lot of us said it's so hard because when someone really gets your emotions high, you go into an escalation mode. So I like the notion that practicing forgiveness and also working internally will build our vocabulary, our assertiveness, our ability to engage and kind of deal with it in real time more productively so that everyone walks away and feels that their dignity has been preserved.
Thank you. Now thank you for bringing to the point that we have a tool bag with vocabulary that we can use. And to our guests, you heard Tara speak about the workshop, and that's one of the things we could look forward to being a part of this club, that from time to time we have experts speaking on different topics. Great. So looking at the next question, what advice would you give to someone struggling to forgive? Anyone can jump in.
I'll take that question if it's okay. And I'm
Yes.
going to be short. I'm going to blow away that 1 minute challenge there, and I'm going to say, just do it. Do it. Try it, even if you may not be sincere at first. I think once you start to say, I forgive you, words are just going to start to flow. Emotions may just start to flow as well. But all of that is part of a benefit and a part of the goodness of being able to forgive. Thank you, Madam Toast Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Do we have time for one more? Yes, just one more. How does forgiveness contribute to personal growth? Oh, this is so important.
I would like to take that, Toastmaster Tonya.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I believe it free you. It relieves you from a burden. Like when you have that gripe against someone and you refuse to forgive them, it tends to consume you to a certain point, right? And when you forgive them, you relieve that burden, right? So you can now freely, you can go forward and grow, in any direction. Sometimes depending on the situation, and I'm not going to forgive that person. You don't want the part where that person living. You don't want the part where that person walking. Yeah, and that's not working. If you see the person, you may probably cross the street because you are refusing to forgive that person. But once you forgive that person, you can walk anywhere. You can go anywhere. You don't have that lack of forgiveness holding you back.
Thank you so much. Yes. Okay. Now, I would really like to thank everyone for stepping up and again sharing these golden nuggets. A special thank you to our two guests who just were great sports when they got right into it. Thank you. You fit right in. Wonderful. So on that note, it's the end of Table Topics. I would hand you back over to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much. Wonderful opportunity, and I learned so much. My professional and personal growth that just increased in surmounting the amount. So I'm now going to turn it over to the general evaluator, who's going to bring forth his team to give us some reports.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster today. I will first get my reports from my team, and I will call on Toastmaster Edwin to give us the grammarian report and the counter report. Toastmaster Edwin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alan. So I will start off with the use of grammar. I did not hear or notice any incorrect use of grammar throughout our session. But I did notice that Haisha used the word of the day 3 times, so congratulations on that. And Tanya used it once, so congratulations on that. And if I missed anybody else on that, it's just because I was also like multitasking. And then in terms of, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to the my report as a counter. So everybody did excellently. Everybody, as we were speaking, you took your time. The flow was excellent. It was great cadence. I also just want to do a shout out to Haisha. I'm very mesmerized by the way you just like speak and just present. It's very hypnotic. So I would encourage you to do one of the competitions, Toastmaster competitions. So I used a lot of ums. That is my crutch word. So I think if you're like me and you have a lot of filler words, being the counter works in your favor because you pay attention to it more often. So I was recognizing it as I was speaking. And then our guest speaker, congratulations for participating. I think that's very brave. Roberta, I think Roberta. Yeah, Roberta. You also use ums, but again, it's very difficult to jump into it. So congratulations to you. Back to you, Toastmaster Alan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Edwin. I'll now ask Toastmaster Tara to give the timer's report.
Absolutely. We did very well. I have to say, almost everything was within time. Our goal is to come in hopefully a minimum of 1 minute and a maximum no more than 2 minutes, 30 seconds tops. Here's the times. I did take the first speech. I had 2 minutes, 26 seconds. Roberta was next with 1 minute, 58 seconds. Edwin at 1 minute, 40 seconds. Haisha at 1 minute, 36 seconds. Alan, you had 1 minute and 7 seconds. And then I went another time, 2 minutes, 29 seconds. Daphne, you had 1 minute and 13 seconds. And then Haisha, you had 1 minute and 20. I don't know if that's a 20 or 29, but you were inside the time. I did 2 minutes, 19 seconds. Alan, you had 1 30-seconder. But then again, I'm sure you just wanted to let one more person speak. So that was Daphne with 55 seconds. So that definitely kept me busy, but everyone pretty much, with one exception, but everyone pretty much hit the frame that we want to hit. So thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tara. And I'll give you my report. First things first, we did start late, and that isn't it happens. It happens. Sometimes people arrive late for meeting roles, and we are unable to fulfill all of our meeting roles, and we need to wait a few extra minutes for additional business to show up. And that happens from time to time. We just need to know how to handle it, and I think we did that today. I'd also like to say I am very curious about that picture for grapes behind you, Tara. Are you living on a vineyard that we don't know about?
I'm definitely willing to explain. I was hiking today and outside in fields not far from where I live, the grapes are ready to pick to turn them into the wine. So this is today's view of some grapes around Stuttgart, Germany, and it is harvest time.
Well, I look forward to hearing a follow-up story on how you made wine from the grapes that you're going to pick later today. And sorry, with my notes. Here we go. Okay, so again, I think this meeting went pretty well. We were able to handle all of our rules, and the meeting flowed as best as it could. I was very happy to see 2 guests today, and I do hope that you are encouraged to join. Please come back to our next meeting. And even though we had no prepared speeches for you to enjoy today, this is an example of what a meeting can be without prepared speeches. Table topics. People are afraid of them because, somebody's going to ask me a question. Am I going to answer? Am I so nervous? Listen, meetings are simply friends arranging to hang out on a date on a time that they agree on. any speeches. They just have conversations amongst themselves. That is all these meetings really should be. And that should give each of us a level of comfort whenever we come to a Toastmasters meeting. There's no pressure at all. So I do encourage you guys to come back. I want to hand you over to Toastmaster of the Day to wrap up, and then I will come back and close the meeting. Toastmaster Aisha.
Yes, thank you. Just wanted to say thank you for the day. Thank you for the opportunity to be before you all. And I am so excited to be back in and hopefully to have more speeches in the future. So thank you. And I turn it right back over to our Vice President for Education.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, and you did a wonderful job. First time that she did, and I think she did extremely well. Extremely well. Our next meeting is on the first Thursday in October. And I would like to encourage, I have written down 5 names here in terms of who can deliver prepared speeches for next time. Tara, Tuanya, Aisha, myself, and Edwin. I have not heard from us in a while. So I'm hoping maybe can we say we're going to do a speech at our first meeting in October? Let me know, please, so that I can prepare the agenda. My extracurricular activities are due to die down in the next couple of weeks. We really need to get these things completed before fall, so I'm going to have a bit more time to be more hands-on and proactive in our club meetings and club affairs and so on. So let me know. Also, don't forget that because of the decision made that there will be that the area speech competitions and so on will be in person. We did take a decision to not have a club speech competition this term, simply because most of our members are all over the world, right? So it's going to be pretty hard to ask someone to travel and be there physically. Unless someone wants to volunteer, that's fine. So what we did decide in the interim is that those of us who are in the US and are able to get to the Washington district area, that we are asking if they will be interested, and we will work with them, train them up, coach them, etc., to represent us at that speech competition. So I think we've identified 2 names, Aisha and Sabine, perhaps. Please confirm so that we can get started working with you from the next meeting to represent our club at our next the area speech contest.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and we do have 2 guests. Let me pull their names up. We have Roberta and Daphne. As is our custom, guys, we just want to ask you all to give us a couple thoughts about how we found our meeting, and let us know how it went. So I'll ask Roberta first because she's showing up first in my Zoom panel. So Roberta, do you mind saying a couple things on your experience here today?
No, I don't mind at all. Well, it was quite, I came with an open mind because I really didn't know what to expect. So I like the format. And I've learned some things. Like when I started, I didn't say thank you for the question. Certain protocols. All right, so it has made me mindful of those protocols, and also my the fillers, and I can take note of that for future meetings and for future conversations with people, because I do it a lot. So it was quite informative for me. It's an education. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberta. I hope we will be seeing you much more. Daphne, would you care to say a couple of things on how your experience today?
Yes, I will. Thank you for the opportunity. when I heard it was a table topic, I mean, I enjoyed the session. This is actually my my second time to get it. First time I actually did get to hear a couple of BPS speeches. When I realized it was table topic, I was kind of hoping I was not going to be called upon. Yeah, but I think I handled it pretty okay, right? You know, it wasn't all that hard. And I love how you handle, you know, that historical question, because when I saw the question, I was wondering, I'm going back in my mind, was there anything in history where they actually came out and forgive? And I really like how you handled, you know, how you handled that situation there. So yeah, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back. I really enjoyed the session, yeah.
Great. It's good to hear from you guys, and I really hope we will see you all. Edwin, your hand is up. Do you want to say a few words?
No, I have a question, Alan. So so
Sure.
in the group chat, I saw that club fees were due. When's the deadline? Just can you give us a reminder?
I believe the deadline might be at the end of this month, if I'm not wrong. So please,
Okay.
please, those of us who need to renew, please renew your fees, your dues, and so that it can be recorded on our club records, and we can get the credit that we deserve. Also,
And we do
as
that
you brought up,
via the Toastmaster website, right? Okay.
yes, you can pay online at the credit card.
I'll
Excuse
just,
me.
yeah, for those who are renewing, like Edwin, your renewal, they will give you the option if you want to renew just for 6 months or if you want to go 12 months, which is kind of cool because I find it's just a lot of work every 6 months, but you have the
Yeah, it's
option to
easier.
go, yeah, like 1 semester or 2.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, so thanks for that reminder. So those of us who have not, please don't forget to renew. And also those of us who have not yet submitted, I don't think it's anyone in this group, but just for the record, those who did not submit their levels to get their credit, please do so. There is a cutoff due to Toastmasters moving to a new system, which is October the 9th. So please get that done before October the 9th. We will send reminders in our WhatsApp group so that it does not get stuck behind. Tara, did you have something to say? Something to add?
I want to just, yeah, put on your calendars if you already have projects and pathways on October 1, go in there and they said they want us to download all of our projects, any documents you've stored in pathways or on Basecamp, save them locally because starting from about the 8th or 9th, they're going to shut down Basecamp and migrate it. So if you've got a history in the Toastmasters Basecamp, it's up to you. Try to preserve all of those documents or take a screenshot or whatever you need. But I put on my calendar October 1st, I'm going to do that download so that I do not get affected. Or if something goes wrong with the migration, I have the proof.
Yeah, that's right. That's good advice. Thank you, Tara. And we will need to put that reminder in our WhatsApp chat as well, so everyone can get that done. All right, it is 12:02 or 11:02 or 2 minutes past the hour, wherever you are. So without further ado, you all, thank you so much for coming today. I did enjoy this meeting, and I look forward to our first meeting in October. Tara, I will have you down for a speech. Second meeting in October as you are. All right, take care. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.